Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So it's bright and early. Mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Let's talk about validation. Seeking validation. We all do it. Every human. Start off as babies. I think that it's really just natural to start off looking for validation because we're insecure and unconfident about how we navigate this world and what to do in it, and feel out of place, feel lost, don't really know how to act, what moves to make. Babies don't know shit. And they're constantly looking towards their parents, typically their mother, for a sense of validation. Am I doing this right? And they look up and the mom gives them a loving nod or some confirmation, and the baby knows that they're safe and that they are still loved. Some children who live in volatile households or in households with apathetic parents that don't really give attention and validation, they don't give love in that way, they don't focus on others too heavily, they're narcissistic. I've had a mother like this who she has just gone through the world with blinders on, and I had this kind of syndrome where as a little child I was constantly looking to her so she could look back at me with a confirmation, with that validation of love and acceptance, and you're doing okay. This can carry on into adult life as insecurities, lack of confidence, fear. It leads to all kinds of mental health issues where we can easily slip into negativity, guilt, shame, live in worlds of regrets. We just swim in that stew of negative thought because of our own weakness. Always looking to others to give us love. Because in our minds, love comes from others. Your love came from your mother, as if she's pouring a glass of water on you or something, as if she's, handing you an object. It's something that is tangible, that is given to you from someone. That's what we believe. At a certain point, we have to become warriors and realize that, sure, we're walking this path alone, but that doesn't mean we need to be on this continual quest for validation from others. We can validate ourselves, but some of us never really learn that lesson. We just constantly seek validation. Tell us that we're okay, tell us that we're smart, tell us that we're loved. This gets really annoying in relationships. You get people that shack up boyfriend, girlfriend, and one of them has a major validation problem stemming from, most likely, it usually always stems from a childhood development issue, from parenting. And they just, like a leech, suck their mate dry. It gets to be overwhelming. It gets to be such an incredible drain of energy to have to constantly tell someone that you love them, that they're doing okay, that they're beautiful, that they're accepted. Constantly, every single day. They need more. They're never full. Their tank is never full. It's not fair to others, and we will drive people away from us. The more that we do that, the more that we suck them dry like vampires of their energy. Use other people, that's what it is. You're using people, manipulating them, robbing them of their energy to steal it for yourself. You're using them to fill you up when it's not their job. It's no one's job to validate you. No one has to do that. And some people end relationships, get very bitter at their significant other or their parents because they're not being validated in the way that they want. And it's pure and total utter weakness, and it's definitely something that we've all been through. I have been there, man. I have been so weak where I have needed women in relationships to tell me that that I'm loved all the time, and that's such a terrible burden to put on somebody. Do you love me? Do you love me? Oh, I said I love you. Do you love me back? Jesus Christ. I mean, and I look back on my own behavior with this and just feel so silly. I try not to beat myself up about it because I realized that I was just simply weak. I was a weak child. Sure, maybe I've been an overgrown adult, but it was a weak child inside, desperately seeking for validation from his mother, from his father, and transferring that need, that addiction, onto others around me, my best friends. Constantly wanting my friends to validate me, to be nice to me. And some people, they can take this kind of validation need, this desperation so seriously, like an addict, where if you don't get the validation that you want, that you desire, you go into panic mode, survival mode. Feels like you're dying, like you're being threatened. You get triggered. You go into a fight or flight response. You want to fight people, argue with them, bicker with them, because they're not playing right. You get demanding. You think that people owe you something. My friends have to be my therapists, or I won't even be friends with them. Right? Are you like that? It's not fair to unload your problems on your friends. It's not fair to expect your friends to help you psychologically. You don't make friends to use them in that way. There's so many people that do that, and they have their support group, and it's fine to have a support group. But remember, your support group isn't the super friends. They're just people with problems. And sure, they may be willing to listen to you bitch and moan about your bullshit for a minute or two, but it's not fair to continually dump on them. I know people that do this, and they just dump like they're fucking dump trucks at the landfill, just backing up, beep, 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 ready to dump that load every time they see you. And it's not fair. And if you ever stand up for yourself and say, hey, I just can't take this type of conversation anymore, they will freak out as if you did something wrong. And if you're weak enough in your own character, you'll find yourself apologizing to one of these goddamn narcissists, as if you did something wrong. We see this with an entire generation of weak young people. Millennials and Gen Z, there's so many of them, and they're so weak. A lot of this is just due to simple validation issues that they had as children, with aloof, apathetic parents who really weren't paying attention to their needs. Parents are paying attention to their own needs. And this is the generation of kids that are constantly taking selfies everywhere you go. Went down to the beach the other day just to take a walk. I love going for a walk on the beach. It's one of the meditative things that I try to force myself to do. And I've been so busy lately, I haven't been able to get down on the beach as much as I want. Sometimes I like to go every other day, every few days if I can, but fuck, it's probably been a month since I've been to the beach. I live at the beach. That's why it's so funny to me. But I'm down there, and it was the Rolex race, or one of the races. It wasn't NASCAR. We get a lot of race shit going on in this town. And so the beach was crowded with people. There's all kinds of young people down there, all taking pictures of themselves. I walked down the beach and I realized that most people down here have phones in their hands taking fucking photos. It was like photo day. And if none of those photos get likes, people freak out. You just had some Miss America chick commit suicide. I don't know who she is. I read the article. I don't watch Miss America. I never really thought any of those chicks were really that pretty anyways, to be honest. I don't know. But she killed herself because people were teasing her on social media. This doesn't happen to my generation. This happens to a younger generation desperate for validation from others because they're so incredibly weak and they can't have the confidence in their own mindset to move forward on a path, to be able to block out obstacles, to be able to go around obstacles, to be able to go by the golden rule that we were taught in school. The sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can never hurt me. People don't know that anymore. It's sad. And this young, pretty girl jumped out of a window. What a weird way to, I mean, it's not weird. It's just, man, if I was going to kill myself, I'd probably put a bullet in my head, or maybe drink some kind of poison or some shit, some kind of cocktail, or sleeping pills like Marilyn Monroe. Jump out of a building. I seen that shit happen. Driving at Hollywood, and it wasn't Hollywood and Vine. It was Vine and Sunset. Vine and Sunset. And there's a high-rise building right on the corner. I don't know if it's a bank or what. It's like a Wells Fargo, and I used to go in that area a lot because I was over at the bank all the time. 2 cars over, I'm sitting in my car. 2 cars over. So I'm in the turn lane. They're in the lane closer to the curb. I go to turn. Just as I'm turning, I hear this boom! I don't know what it was. I turn, pull over, turn back because it was loud. And the car on the inside lane that was next to the curb, I guess they were going to turn right. The whole top of their car was smashed in. The whole car smashed the fuck in. Found out later on from the news, somebody who jumped off that building. Big high-rise building. They jumped right off. Right to that car. Bam! I guess it wouldn't be really a bad way to go out, the more I think about it. Who knows why they did it, but a lot of people kill themselves simply because of validation issues. They're not making the friends they want, getting the lovers they want, having the acceptance they want, being received in the way that they want, that they feel is necessary for them to be able to feel loved. We all want to feel loved. You can love yourself. You don't have to go around dragging that shit out of other people, robbing other people of it, siphoning it off of other people as they're not looking, wishing, begging, pleading for other people to give you this like as if you're running on empty. You can do this for yourself. Stop chasing validation. You're not Gollum. Wishing for your precious, you're precious. You don't need anything. You don't need anything external. It's all inside of you. Thanks for watching.